Hey everybody, welcome to LettermenRow.com. I am Jeremy Birmingham. This is Birminology. We are whipping around the country talking to Ohio State recruits from pretty much all corners of this great land. And today we are heading down to the Georgia-Alabama border talking to A.J. Harris, who in the last 2 weeks has seen his name go from basically a regional guy down in that area in the recruiting trail to a big-time national target for a number of schools, including Ohio State. AJ, thanks for joining us. How are you, man?
Good. All is well this way.
So let's just start with that. I met you 2 weeks ago in Atlanta at the Under Armour camp there, and since that time, your recruitment, it seems like you've been on just like a rocket ship. How are you handling the change? You went from being an unranked player to the number 2 ranked cornerback in the country with offers from Alabama and Ohio State in the last couple of days. I mean, is it hard to even fathom all of this happening right now?
At times it is, but at the end of the day, I realize that all of this is the blessing from the man up above. So I just try to think of it as I'm blessed to be in this position. So just take advantage of every opportunity I'm blessed with. So I try to make sure I reach out to a majority of these colleges and just build great relationships with them.
Is it harder to build relationships now that there's, 10 additional schools in the last 10 days that have tried to get in touch with you, or does it force you to cut things down a little bit already?
It does get hard because I try to give everybody an opportunity because I believe that a majority of the schools that have offered me, I could definitely go to the lead from and get a great education. So I try to give everybody their fair chance at recruiting me and building a relationship with all these coaches. But at sometimes I do think it's best for me to drop a top 13 or 12 here soon.
Yeah, just because otherwise, I mean, it becomes almost impossible for you to manage your day-to-day life, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about that life. What is life like for the country's number 2 ranked cornerback in your class? How has it changed in the last 2 weeks, and how are you adjusting?
I believe God, like before this, I believe He's groomed me to adjust. Like I believe God had this all in His plan, so I've been doing a great job adjusting. It's just more notoriety, and people will definitely they'll definitely try to get the best of me now because I'm definitely highly recruited, and people will definitely try to just do little things to get under my skin. And when I go to these camps, they'll do their best to give me everything they got. So at this point, I'm just trying to prepare for what's to come in the near future.
Have you seen that happen already? I mean, guys in your area who now all of a sudden you're Mr. National. I mean, do you get more, I don't want to say shots thrown your way, but you see it already?
Yes, sir, because I live in Columbus, Georgia. It's small. Not many people get the opportunity that I'm blessed with. So some people do believe that they should get that opportunity as well. So it's definitely been shots, but it's no biggie to me. I call it white noise. It's just outside noise that doesn't really matter.
Now, you live in Columbus, Georgia. That's not where you grew up, at least not, early part of your life. You've traveled around a bit. You told me that you grew up in Europe and Germany with father in the military. How has that prepared you for this part of your life and this sort of, I don't want to say notoriety, but it's certainly a possibility and a position that finds a lot of people almost trip over their own opportunities.
It's a blessing to grow up in a military family for me personally, because now once I move around, I'm not like under stress or homesick because I've lived in Germany. I've lived in California. I've been in so many different places. It's not really, it's nothing that I believe that I can't handle. And I believe that it's definitely been a blessing because I can go to any school that I want to now, whether that's Ohio State, staying in this area. I'm fine with wherever I go.
I mean, that is one of the reasons why, as you told me when Ohio State did offer about 10 days ago, that's one of the reasons why Kerry Combs extended the offer, because of that background and the willingness to move around a little bit and to not be locked into the just the traditional SEC footprint. How is the impact of an Ohio State offer in Columbus, Ohio, a little Columbus to Columbus potential. How is that? How did that offer kind of change the way you view recruiting?
It changed it big time because I love the relationship that I have built with Coach Combs a lot. And I've only talked to him 2 times, but he showed me a lot of love and he's been honest with me. But by me moving around and him understanding my background, he definitely understood that I'm willing to leave. So it's definitely a blessing that he even extended the offer because I know he doesn't just give offers to anyone. So it's a blessing.
You've mentioned you've talked to him twice. The first time was the day that he offered. The second time was just an hour and a half or so before this conversation we're having now. What was it like the second time, and did you get an opportunity to talk with Ryan Day, and what was your impression of him?
I like Ryan Day a lot, and I only talked to him once. He seems like a really down-to-earth guy. He talked to me and my father, and he doesn't. It seems like he's not just telling me what I want to hear, more so the truth. And a lot of coaches be like, "This is a great fit for you," but he kind of told me like, "This isn't a fit for everybody." So I believe you could come down and see it for yourself because this is a great program, and he just wants me to get to meet some of the players. Because, like Coach Coombs said, he said, you wouldn't want to go to work with somebody that you don't like. So he just wants me to get down there, get a feel for it, and get to meet the players.
I mean, you did tell me after the offer that there was already discussion between you and your father about getting up to Ohio State. Now that we feel like some optimism that the dead period maybe ends on May 31st, are you starting to plot out a calendar, a schedule for your summer?
Oh, most definitely. I'm already starting to list out some schools that me and my dad plan on attending. And we're actually trying to hit some of the close ones now. I don't even have to see the facilities. I just want to get the feel for the campus and walk around. But I definitely plan on hitting Ohio State once it's hopefully lifted in June 1st. And we've definitely already plans to do so.
What schools have you been to before? I mean, how has that shaped your view of what you expect on the recruiting trail? I mean, you're going to obviously local schools. You're right kind of in the middle between Alabama and Georgia. What have you been able to see to this point?
The only school that I've actually got to see is Georgia. And I got to go to one of their games, and it opened my eyes to actually get to see what the college atmosphere is like, because I only get to see it on TV. So it definitely just opened my eyes, and I got to feel the game day atmosphere and what the fans are like. So it opened it big time, but I haven't really got to talk to the coaches in person and get a feel for like on campus.
What kind of defensive back are you? I mean, give me a self-assessment. What is it about your game? I know what I saw when I saw you at the Under Armour camp in Atlanta, and why everyone in the media started writing about you almost immediately. But what do you see? What do you think, your ceiling is?
I believe I'm not even close to my ceiling, honestly. I still have a lot of ways to go. But I definitely think my mentality separates me from a lot of people. I don't take it light on anyone. I try to embarrass and compete with anybody who's in front of me. And most definitely, I definitely think that I'm a long DB that has technique. And a lot of long DBs now lack technique. Just a lot of high school DBs in general lack technique due to the high school development. But I believe I do a good job of working with 5 different trainers to work on those the technique, honestly.
Tell me about that. I mean, 5 different trainers. You're working with one for defensive back technique, one for strength, one for speed. I mean, does it speak something about you, about your background, about your family, that like you're taking this seriously?
It's just it's the sacrifices you have to make to be great. I believe me and my dad have bought into the sacrifices you have to make to get where you want to go. And to be in that 1% that make it to the NFL and go produce, you have to be willing to put in the work daily. So it's something that I've bought into, and to making sure that I'm college ready from day one. and just seeing the bigger picture of everything. Because while I'm in high school, I want to win state, but I definitely want to dominate while I'm here. And once it's time for me to be a true freshman, I want to produce as a freshman. So it's just seeing the bigger picture and being ready to play from day one once I step on campus.
Before you received the Ohio State offer, AJ, you told me that you really wanted to be committed like soon. Like you think that it's important for you to wrap this up early. What is the reason for that? And knowing that that's the case, what are the things that you know a school is going to be required to have for you to, even consider them once this summer rolls around?
Honestly, me knowing that the coaching staff is stable, knowing that I have a great relationship with the coaching staff wherever I attend. And I definitely don't want to play the long game because I want to be a leader of my recruitment class, and I want to be able to know where I'm going because I will be early enrolling into whatever school I do attend. So it's just me being ahead, making sure that I know where I'm going so I can be ready to get into the playbook and don't have to worry about talking to so many different colleges and just focus on that one school. Because once I commit, I don't plan on really talking to any other schools, and I'm locked in wherever I do commit to.
What are your plans? Let's say football doesn't pan out. Let's say something happens. I mean, what is the life path right now for AJ? For AJ Harris, and what do you want to make sure that a school has for you academically or social life? What's important to you?
That definitely making sure they have my major. Football doesn't last forever, and it's the 4 for 40. This is not a 4-year decision. This is a 40-year decision. So you definitely have to be mindful where you do want to attend because you got to make sure they have your major, and you got to make sure that wherever you go, they're going to push you in the classroom as well as just on the field. So I definitely I plan on majoring in business or being a physical therapist. So I definitely have a plan to what I do want to do, but I'm 16, so I'm still trying to really dig into that some more.
That's actually a point that I like to bring up with guys in your position when I talk to you. You are 16 years old. You have a lot of time ahead of you. You have a lot of opportunity ahead of you, but you also have a possibility of sort of losing the fact that you're a teenager. Like, what do you do to just kind of step away from all this and focus on being a kid?
Just stay with my family and friends. Just spend quality time with them. Because at the end of the day, you aren't a normal teenager somewhat, because at this point you have to get ready to go play college football and go get a great education. So you got to understand the position that you're in and what you signed up for when you told yourself as a little kid that you want to play Division I football. So I understood what I did sign myself up for when I was a little kid. So I'm understanding that I won't be viewed as a regular teenager, and that I need to accept the fact that I'm stepping into an early role as a young adult and making sure when I do have free time, I spend it with my family and friends.
Let me ask you, are you a comic book movie guy? What
Movie guy.
is there, like, are you a Marvel movie guy or DC guy? You have a favorite superhero?
It used to be Batman when I used to watch that a lot.
So what is like the last movie you watched, and what is your favorite movie? Like, if the old thing where we're like, okay, if you're stuck on a desert island, AJ, you can only take one movie with you. What movie is it?
I think it's a movie called Woodlawn.
Woodlawn.
It's a football movie, but it gets into the biblical aspect, and it's just deep. It's not just football; it's deeper than football, and that's basically what the movie explains. Like having a relationship with God, the team coming together to be one, and this was when racism was big. So it's actually amazing just to see that they came together to be one team to go to the state championship and actually find a relationship with God throughout that process.
Well, there you go. You got a movie review, folks. If you're interested in a movie, that's what AJ Harris recommends. Let's go down. One last thing. What is the best Southern food? What is the one thing since moving to the South that you were like, that is the food for you?
I'm a big crab legs guy. Actually, I have a friend that's from Louisiana, and I wasn't familiar with crab legs at all. And he was like, he had said it one day when we were working out. He's like, I'm gonna go eat crab legs. So I was just like, oh, I gotta try that one day. And ever since I tried that, that's definitely one of my Southern foods that I just fell in love with.
You don't miss schnitzel or anything like that?
Oh, I definitely do. I can't lie. Me and my family do at times, and we just talk about it sometimes, like some things that we miss from Europe. And schnitzel and the food down there is different from here, so we definitely do miss it at times.
Much different. You got a lot of experiences behind you, AJ, a lot of experiences ahead of you, especially on the recruiting trail those next few months. I appreciate you taking some time to talk about that with Lettermen Row. I am Jeremy Birmingham. That's AJ Harris. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll be back next week.